You are watching Issues at Hand here on Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Sumuhere Bruno Edgar. Welcome to this special Friday edition. And why is it special? Well, we have been enjoying good time with our children, hopefully. And for those who haven't, we have more cause to remind you to enjoy spending time with your children and with your family. So we have been enjoying time with them, but the holiday is about to come to an end. And so we need to ask ourselves, what should we as parents, what should we as children and as schools be prepared for? How can we best prepare ourselves as children are about to start returning to school? And like I said, the holiday season is almost over, so it's important that we spend quality time with our children as much as possible, which is one of the things that we're going to be talking about this morning. So on that end, please, Protea Hotel in Tebe is the place for you, because if you want to, sometimes when you're in the same environment, things can become stagnant, things can become repetitive, things can become boring. So you want to have a fresh outlook. You want to have a change of scenery that will help you and your children connect better. So Protea Hotel in Tebe can provide that scenery for you, with a luxurious lakeside, with a swimming pool, with wonderful hotel rooms, with wonderful conference halls, with a gym, a spa, and so much more. So you want to take opportunity of this before our children return to school. So make your reservation and booking today and enjoy spending quality time with your children at Protea Hotel in Tebe. Now, joining me to talk about how we can best prepare ourselves as children return to school is Afande Mbakire Monica, who is from the Child and Family Protection Unit, Wandegeya Police Station. You are welcome to Issues at Hand.
Thank you so much. Good morning, viewers. As you said, I'm Mbakire Monica, ASP. I'm the officer in charge, Child and Family Protection Unit, Wandegeya Police Division. And I'm here to talk about issues at hand, majorly concerning about children. Now that we are coming to the end of holidays, I know parents, I really need to talk to parents about this issue of children going back to school. First and foremost, we are going to have challenges starting next week as children are reporting to school. As my office, we are going to have challenges. Why? Parents have decided to neglect their children, especially fathers. You're leaving responsibilities to mothers. These days there are a lot of single mothers, and these single mothers are so responsible for their children, for the basic needs, that is healthy care, shelter, food, clothing, and education. But now I'm calling upon fathers, please, now that children are about to go back to school, you should be prepared by now and assist the mothers. Mothers have taken up each and everything. Mothers are running up and down, looking after children, feeding them, and fathers, you're just there out drinking and doing your own things, having fun, basically. So please come up and take up your responsibilities, pay school fees for your children, and make sure you follow up these children up to the schools. Children are getting spoiled because fathers are not responsible enough, Fathers have abandoned the children completely, so children are getting spoiled and you're blaming mothers. So parents, please come up.
Afande, in your experience, what is the cause of this? Why is it that there are fathers out there that are not owning up to their responsibility?
The cause, first of all, I will say it is poverty. The economy is not good. Basically, these days, the economy is not good. So instead of sitting down and talking about this issue as a family, men just run away from women. And it's upon women. Like you produce children and you're like, the children are for the woman. You understand? So men are running away from their responsibilities because I think, one, poverty. Two, this issue of women working. If a woman is working, men have completely abandoned working women. They assume these women can take up all these responsibilities. So there are some men who come up, they come to our offices and say, let my wife stay at home. And if she's not staying at home, let her take care of each and everything. Men are taking us to those back days, like the gender issues. Back in the days, men used to, carry every burden. But now that women have come up to help the men have taken us for granted, have taken women for granted, They're like, okay, if you're working, where is your money going? You take up the responsibilities. You understand? So, men should style up, really. We should style up.
Indeed. And what are these? I like that term you used. And for us to understand why it's important that fathers take up that responsibility, especially when it comes to the children, we need to understand, again, in your experience, what are the effects on children if fathers do not take up that role of ensuring that they spend time with children?
Okay. As a child, when we were growing up, that part of a father figure in a child is very, very important. You understand? Sometimes, to me, sometimes women fear to blame children. And when a father is not there to take up that responsibility, a child can completely get spoiled.
By blaming, you mean rebuking in case the child does something wrong?
Yes, that is it. So some women, we have too much love for children. We pamper children. So even when a child does something wrong, you don't want to say anything about this child. But when a father is there, at least two hands can handle a child. And these days people are coming up, single mothers, they come up to our offices. The child, I can no longer take care of this child. This child is completely, I don't know. Kids have run mad. You understand? Why? Because fathers have abandoned them. So, men should come up and see to it that they are a part of raising up a child. It takes two to raise a child, and it takes a community. You understand?
Indeed. So as we prepare to ensure that our children return to school, what else as fathers, as mothers, as parents should we practice?
First of all, you need to talk to these children as parents. Because if you're preparing a child to go back to school, you need to guide this child. They need guidance when they're going back to school. Children have been at home, and parents these days are so busy. You wake up in the morning, leave a child at home. A child keeps watching, goes to social media. You know what is on social media. You're not controlling this child. A child has picked up A, B, C, D from social media, and they have kept them in. Now, when this child goes back to school, a teacher cannot mentor the child at home. It is you, the parent, who has been mentoring the child at home. And if you've not guided the child at home, a child will go to school and start spoiling other kids, who have already been guided by their parents. So this thing keeps moving from home to where? To school. So parents should take up their roles also to guide these children and bring them up as God-fearing children, good children, of course. You understand? So you don't leave parents shouldn't leave responsibilities to only teachers. They should guide them before they do what? They go back to school. And like now, children these days, me when I was studying in the 90s, 2000s, a child would make a list. You understand? A list of requirements when going back to school. You present it to your parent. And the parent, like you have 12 items, the parent will pick only 5. But these days, a child can make a list of 100 items, and the parent will buy them all. When the child goes to school, they will not concentrate. After all, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. I've not said that deny your children requirements, but then control what you give them. There are things that actually parents give to their children when they're just going to deter them from studying. You understand? So now I request parents, if you're buying requirements for children, if you're packing for your children, monitor what the children are taking to school. Children are sneaking drugs in schools, and parents are not aware. And when they reach school, they start taking these drugs, and they are caught by teachers. Parents go ahead and blame teachers. Yet they were not aware that the children really sneaked the drugs in what? In school. So please, parents should really be cautious as these children are planning or packing for school.
And I know there's a parent out there who is asking what kind of specific guidance should we give our children, either socially, spiritually, economically. What kind of guidance should we give our children as they prepare to return to school?
First of all, as God-fearing people, Uganda is a country of God. As a parent, first of all, you should guide your child that wisdom comes from God. You understand? So if you don't fear God, you don't have that wisdom. So first of all, put God first in whatever you do. That is one. Two, this economy, first let me tell you, these days when you've not studied, you are nothing. You understand? These days when you've not studied, you are nothing. Let alone these issues of I have a rich father who is going to look after me. You may have that wealth, but if you don't have knowledge or wisdom, you are what? You are nothing. So parents, as they are taking their children back to school, as they are providing their children all those requirements and all the necessities, they should guide them. They should tell them, or they should encourage them to work hard. Because if they don't work hard and perform, there will be nothing. They'll come back on ground and go back to taking drugs, be like those drunkards in the villages.
Afande, I'm sure you've had many cases of children who are rowdy or who are ill-disciplined in school and also outside school. For example, children who partake in drug abuse, children who are bullies, children who are thieves. I remember in my time in school, we had a lot of children who are thieves. And so when such cases come, I'm sure such cases have come to you. And one, in your experience, how together with the child's parents have you been able to handle such a case? But two, what as parents, because there are parents out there who are looking for solutions, if they have a child who is ill-disciplined and let's say I want this child to go back to school, but I don't want this vice to continue with this child as they go back to school. So what as a parent can I do with my child who might be showing a bit of ill-discipline?
First of all, cases of indiscipline in children are there, and we've got them at the stations. There are children who are thieves, drug addicts, who are, who are doing all sorts of funny things. But now I want to tell children that a child can be charged and can be taken to prison. A child, the criminal responsibility of a child starts at 12 years. If a child has made 12 years and you go ahead with these habits of stealing, taking drugs, you can be brought to police, you can be charged, and you can be taken to prison. You understand? So the parents, I urge parents, if they have such children, to come and report them. Because if they are not coming up to tell us about such things, there is no way we can move from home to home looking for what?
But you understand that there are parents who might be thinking, well, I don't want my child to be arrested. That's why they are not reporting.
Okay, it is not basically arresting children. In our day-to-day work, we encounter such children. But when we get these children, we're not like, unless if a child is too much, that's when you can decide maybe like to take the child through the normal justice system, and we take the child maybe to a remand home, to campings, like those places. However, if a child has just started a habit, we have diversion guidelines whereby we sit as parents and like local council people, like the police, and we see a way of guiding this child into becoming a better person. Understand? So we don't take through this normal justice system of maybe a child is taken to Luzira, like that. So parents shouldn't fear. They should approach us, and when you approach us, you come, we tell you what to do. We sit with the children, we get counselors, and these children are guided on how to become really good children. We don't take them through that normal justice system. So parents should come up and inform us, and we see what to do for the children.
And so that's good, and you've seen that there's a solution there. You can go to police and get help, basically. Now, you've given us as parents tools that we can use, but specifically, especially when it goes to the welfare of the child when they are going to school. What as parents should we do to ensure that our children are both ready to start the term and also comfortable while at school, so that they are not distracted? Because like you said, education is important, and we do not want our children to be sidelined by other things. We want them to get the best in education so that they are prosperous in the future.
First of all, as these kids are going back to school, as parents, you need to pay their school dues. That is very, very important. First of all, pay their school dues. Because if you don't pay school dues in time, these children will be sent back to homes. And you know the process of a child being sent back from school to home, you know what happens along the way. So we don't want these interruptions of a child being sent back to school. First of all, a parent, pay the school dues. 2, make sure you provide all the basic needs to this child. Do not send a child to school without basic needs. What are these basic needs? Things like clothes, things like foodstuffs, and you know, anything that can make a child comfortable at school. I will not talk about each and everything, because a parent or a child knows what they want. They just want you to know that you should at least send these children to school with all the requirements they need, so that at least they settle at school and they're comfortable.
How about, because I know there are a lot of people who advise that we must ensure as parents that our children get to school safely. How can we do that? Because, of course, for the younger children, do you advise that as parents ourselves we should make time and drop our children off to school? And then for those who are older and can walk to school themselves or travel to school themselves, how can we give them guidance so that they can get to the school safely?
We have 2 types of children. We have day scholars and boarding scholars. As a parent, you should know which kind of child you have. You understand? For boarding scholars, I think it would be very, very important for a parent to transport this child back to school, get an interaction with the teachers at school, and see to it that your child has settled in school and leave. Then for day scholars, Banang, there are people who use vans, there are people who use border borders, and there are people who use taxis. But first of all, assess which kind of means you're giving your child. You understand? Because there is a scenario, I think you've heard of it, a scenario whereby a girl child was being dropped by a border border every morning at school. And what would the border border guy do? The border border would pick the child from home. Along the way, he goes to his home, defiles the child, and then later drops the child at school. As a parent, talk to your child. Talk to the teachers. I've sent my child from home at 6, and the child is reaching school at 8. When a school is like 2 kilometers away or 3, you understand? Parents, I don't know, you should be responsible and go to school and find out what time your child is reaching school. Then also you talk to your child as the border man is dropping, because this border man, what he wants is to satisfy himself. You understand? So he goes, as I was telling you, he goes, takes the girl, defiles the girl, then after takes the girl to school. Now I'm asking myself, between the mother or the parent and the teacher, no one had sensed this issue, the situation which the child was going through? After defilement, of course, there are things that a child goes through normally. You mean a teacher couldn't sense? We should take keen interest in these children, so that at least we keep them safe. The safety of a child lies in the hands of the mother and the teacher, or person in authority.
How about a father? You've left out the father.
The fathers are not always there. Okay, between parents and the teachers at school. Because fathers, you know, the relationship between a mother and a child is closer than a father and what? You may not really take any interest to know what is going through, what your child is going through, but a mother, because if it is a child of like below 10, you're the one bathing the child in the morning, you're the one preparing that child in the morning. A father will not wake up. The father of these days may not wake up to take a child to the bathroom to prepare the child to go for school. So we should really take an interest in that.
Indeed. And so that's a wonderful advice that you've given to us, the parents. But when it comes to the children now, to the children who are watching and saying, okay, I am going to tell daddy and mommy to do this, but as children, what should be our mindset as we prepare to go to school, and what kind of behavior should we have at school if we want to be successful and if we want to get the best out of education?
Okay, children, you should know that the future belongs to you, not to your parents. So, as you prepare to go back to school, these are the things you should avoid. First of all, you have a responsibility as a child to respect your parents, to respect your teachers, and to respect people in authority. That is your responsibility as a child. That is one. Two, children, you should be responsible enough to know that in case you do not succeed, failure is yours. It is not for your parent. So as you're preparing to go back to school, you should know what is taking you to school. Reach school and do what has taken you there. Children are being, there are types of children. There are those from wealthy families and those from poor families. So those from wealthy families, if you can, help these ones from poor families. And those from poor families, just get contented with what your parents have provided you with, because that's what they can afford. Do not look at the rich one and say, now, this one is getting this and I'm getting this. Be contented with what you have and make sure that at least what you have, you use what you have to achieve your goal. If your mother cannot afford a loaf of bread, go with the bun that they have provided you with. Then also avoid issues of peer pressure. There is good peer pressure and bad one. So avoid the bad peer pressure. Things that will land you into problems, and you will end up, especially girls, you will end up getting these unwanted pregnancies, diseases, and other things, Then there's this issue of LGBT. I don't know. I'll not talk about it much, but you should really be careful, because there are already students that are into it and those that are not into it. Those that are into it, you should see what to do about it. And those that are not into it, because this LGBT thing needs time to talk about it, maybe to go to schools and discuss these issues with teachers and the children as well. So just be careful with such vices.
And when it comes to, you raised a very good issue there of unwanted pregnancies, things like that. As going back again, because you've been giving advice to the children, but are we as parents, do you think, especially in your experience, doing the best when it comes to helping guide our children, especially in issues like sex? Because I know there are many parents who are uncomfortable with having those discussions. So as parents, how can we best have those discussions with our children to help them understand that, look, there's a time for everything. Right now you're not of that age and you go to school to have an education. So how best can we put that message across so that we avoid, because adolescence, the nature of adolescence is to the effect that these feelings will manifest, but how can we best teach our children to avoid being tempted by this and to focus on their education?
I'll go back to the issue of parents leaving responsibilities to teachers. Long ago, we've forgotten our culture. Long ago, children used to be sent to their singers, to their aunties for such talks. It is natural for a mother or a father to fear to talk about sex with a child. It is very normal. But you can trust that child with an auntie or a friend or a counselor in that respect to talk about the same. What you have to know is that these children are going to go through it, whether you like it or not. And they know they are learning it from somewhere else. So if you don't come in to talk about it as a parent, or you put an initiative to see that any aunt talks about it, you're going to run into problems with this child. So I'm urging parents, at least let's go back to those days whereby during holidays, an aunt is invited or a child is sent to an auntie to be, at least to be informed about this sex issue.
That's true. Now that brings me to now the responsibility of schools, because many of these vices may not show up at home, and rightfully so. You've told us about how as parents we have the responsibility to teach our children and spend quality time with them so that we find out what's going on in their lives. But there are children who at home show that they're angels, and when they go to school they are the most dangerous in the school. So when it comes to schools, especially as the term is starting, what do we need to be cautious about when it comes to school administrators and teachers, and what should we do to ensure that the children are safe and that the children are not involved in vices like you said, unwanted pregnancies, drug abuse, and so forth and so forth?
With that, schools used to have what they call senior women teachers or counselors. I've gotten that kind of arrangement in so many schools around where I stay, where I reside. They have senior women teachers. They have men who can talk to these children. I want to urge schools that don't have such arrangements to have them, because it's all about talking. Let us not stop talking. Putting these children right is all about talking.
But do these children listen to that talk?
Let me tell you, you cannot talk something today, tomorrow, and the other day, and until someone does not pick anything. Of course, yes, adolescents, they will always think that that is the song of the day. But still, at one time when this person is going astray, they will remember something that, teacher said this and this about what? About this. So, we should keep talking. As now we are going back to school, as police, we have arrangements. Today we are here talking about such issues. The other day we are in this school talking about such issues. So, basically it's about talking to these children and guiding them. Yeah.
And how about when it comes to safety? We have seen issues of school fires. We have seen issues of kidnap from schools. We have seen issues of bullying. What responsibilities can we play as administrators, but also as teachers, to ensure these are not issues in our schools?
I'm very sure schools have rules and regulations. You understand? These things do not come out of the blue. These things come from these children, like bullying. Teachers and school administration should put up those strong rules and regulations to guide these students. In case such a thing happens, in case there is a child that has come up with such a habit, the rules can guide on what to do. You understand? But this should be after talking to the child. Don't just sit and assume a child will say that, this is right, this is wrong. Because you can give them the rules and regulations, but without guidance, they cannot read them and understand them. So let the rules and regulations or laws that are set up in schools guide the teachers on what to do. And then the children also. Pulling someone down does not raise you up. If you you want this person to not perform in class, bullying has a lot of effects on a human being or in a student. You can bully someone, the person decides to run out of school, and these children who have run out of school can end up their feelings being hurt, and they can end up doing something wrong to themselves, like killing themselves, and it can cause death. bullying. So you as students who are going back to school, what do you benefit from bullying your fellow students? Just be at school, concentrate, guide your friends, and study and go back home.
How can the school administration be one conversant, but also how can they be more open when it comes to issues of children and students being abused by teachers? Because we have seen that's also a problem in schools. So what can schools do to ensure, one, that this doesn't happen anymore, that they make sure that there are plans in place to stop this vice from happening? And secondly, when something like that, because there are instances of schools that cover up these vices from their teachers, what should a school do when they find out that a teacher is either molesting a student or abusing a student, especially sexually?
First of all, the students themselves should be empowered by teachers or parents. Students should come up, like a school has administration, has prefects, counselors, and what. So students themselves, safety starts from you as a person. If you are being bullied or if you are being harassed by a student or by a teacher and you keep quiet, it is up to you to suffer the consequences. So as a student...
But you understand many students, especially since they are children, they are still young, might first not understand what is happening, but secondly might have fear.
This is why I'm coming up to say they should know that protection or safety starts from them. They should come up and talk about it. If something happens, come up and talk about it. Talk about it with a friend, talk about it with a prefect who will later help you to forward the issue to the administration. You understand? Do not just keep quiet when something is happening. Children are being sexually harassed at school by their fellow teachers, by teachers, and have kept quiet. And other students are aware that such a thing is happening, but have also gone ahead to keep quiet. But I'm just informing them that if such a thing happens, like harassment at school by a teacher to a student, and you are a witness, please inform other authorities higher than you or higher than the teacher, or inform a friend. Like if you face such a challenge, at least inform a friend. You may not tell a teacher, but students, you should inform a friend. Now, this friend, if a problem is shared, it is solved. This friend can go ahead and inform higher authorities so that you are helped as a victim.
That's true. And how about the schools? How should they handle such issues, especially in light of this becoming a criminal matter?
Yeah. There are laws. You understand? There are laws. And no one is above the law. So if such a thing is happening, schools should come up and hand in those perpetrators to the authorities so that at least we can deter such things. If one is imprisoned today or convicted today, another and tomorrow, and the other day, and people are watching this, I think this habit can stop. So please, authorities or schools, if there are such things that are happening, I've told you, teachers who are harassing children, the laws are there. And children who are harassing fellow children, the laws are there. The criminal responsibility, I've told you, of the criminal responsibility of a child is 12 years. So if you are 12 years and above, you're criminally responsible for your what? For your actions. You will not say that I'm still young, they will not take me into prison or they will not do anything to me. Yeah.
That's true. Now we are going in for a quick breather, after which we shall return with more advice and a discussion on how we can best ensure that as our children return to school, that they're in the best shape possible and that they thrive while in school. So don't go anywhere. You are still watching Issues at Hand here on Church of Uganda Family TV, proudly brought to you by Prote Hotel Entebbe. One last call. Remember that you still have the opportunity to move away from the same environment, from the same place, and go away for a weekend at least with your children, especially before they return to school. Enjoy being with them at a hotel which has a wonderful lakeside view, has an amazing swimming pool. Many children love swimming. Amazing hotel rooms. It has a gym. You can work out together with your child and make this holiday, what remains of the holiday season, special. So make wonderful memories by reserving and booking yourself a wonderful time, you and your children, a wonderful time at Protea Hotel Entebbe. The number is on your screen. Now, we are still talking about how best we can prepare ourselves as parents, our children, and as schools when it comes to the return of children to schools. So the holiday is coming to an end, but what are the things that we should be aware of? Now, one of the biggest concerns that I am aware that the Child and Family Protection Unit have, because this is a conversation I've had with someone from the same unit, Afande, is the fact that there is a big concern when it comes to the issue of custody. So in scenarios where, let's say, spouses have separated but they have children, there's always the question on custody, especially before there's final dissolution of the marriage from a court of law, because when you file for divorce at a court of law and the judge pronounces himself or herself on the matter, they usually award custody to one parent to another, or both have shared custody. But even before that happens, there are parents who separate for some reason and they have not yet divorced, but yet we still have to handle this issue of custody. Who is staying with the kid during the holidays, the child? And then when it comes to the responsibility of who is going to take care of the requirements as the children is going back to school. And I understand this is a very big issue that is causing a lot of headache in many families.
Yeah, that is a very big issue. And now that we are close to the to the week of going back to school, we are going to have challenges. As you are aware, these days there are so many single mothers who are taking care of their own children, and fathers at large, like I told you. Now, when it comes to this issue of custody, first of all, you should know that a child has a right to stay with both parents, the mother and the father. Under circumstances where parents have separated, you can talk about it. If children are below, like in Uganda, like below 7 years, if they are still young, they stay with the mother. But a father should as well have access to this to these children, and also provide for these children. In circumstances where the mother is unable to take care of these children after separation, the father can take up the children. We face challenges in our offices whereby families come, parents come when they have separated, and when a mother remains with the children, it is very, very hard for this mother to get these children, or to give the father of these children access. You always ask for assistance from the parent for child support, but you do not allow the man to have access to these children. Yet he has a right to access his children. You understand? So I'm urging parents, if at all there is this situation whereby you have separated, please, 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 sit before you run to court. Sit and talk about it, because all of you have the right to be with the children. All of you have the responsibility to look after these children. It is a responsibility of both parents to look after these children. Now the time is coming where children are going back to school, and either parents are going to say, after all, he's the one with the children, let him do what? Let him take care. And in most cases, it is always fathers who say, she left with the children, let her take care of, or let her have responsibility of of the children. That is not right. As a father or as a mother, both of you should work hand in hand to ensure that these children are taken care of, to ensure that these children get their basic needs. Basic needs, 5 things: shelter, food, clothes, education, and medication. These 5 basic needs should be provided by both parents. You understand? So there is a scenario whereby if a mother has custody, we are getting these challenges in office. If a mother has custody of the children after separation, now comes to holidays, a father will come ask for access. The woman will get children, hand over to the mother, to the father for access, as in the father to go and, have time with his kids. Now time reaches for children to go back to school, and the father will say, I'm not giving you back my what? My children. In the beginning, these children, remember, you got them from the mother, and the mother is the one who has custody. So in such scenarios, people come to police and report, and we enter a case of forceful removal of a child from lawful custody. Because in the beginning, the mother is the one who had custody, and now the father has taken the children, and as a police, we cannot decide who should stay with the children. These are things that court decides.
But that's what I wanted to ask you. Don't you, as police, advise this couple that if they cannot find a resolution to their differences, that they would rather apply for divorce so that this issue of custody can be settled once and for all?
Yeah, like I've told you, as police, we do not have powers, we do not have authority to determine who to have the children. So when they come to our offices, we advise them to apply for custody from court, even without having, because some of these parents who come, they come when they're like they were not legally married, like they were just cohabiting and they had children. So like it is not necessary to apply for divorce. So they will just advise them to go ahead and apply, either of them, to go ahead and apply for custody from where? From court. Then there's this issue of, these days, things of going out for cheyo. Girls have left their kids with their parents to take care of, yet the father is in the country. You understand? And the parents of these girls, of these women, are becoming really, really inconsiderate. They are denying access. They are denying fathers of these children access to the children. They're like, my daughter left me these children, and she's like, she told me not to give you the children. And fathers are being denied access to their children, yet they are giving child support. So I would like to inform families, inform people out there that the responsibility of a child is between the mother and the father. A child has a right to stay with either the mother or the father. The grandparent is a third party. You can do that, hand over the child to a grandparent after consenting, both of you, both the mother and the father. So in this case, if a mother leaves the child and goes out of the country for cheyo, maybe to Saudi or to where, this mother should leave the responsibility of this child or the custody of the child to the father. So we are getting grandmothers coming with children to offices complaining, now my daughter left me these children and now the father wants to take them. He's right to take his children because those are his what? His children. For you, your daughter went out of the country. That is your child and you're responsible for that one. Now this father is coming to pick his children. He's right. May I tell them, go ahead. If they are denying you the right to have your children, go to court and apply for custody. They give you custody, you come, we can pick the children. So, I mean, those people who are planning or who have gone or who are planning to go out, please, if you're ready, leave the responsibilities of the child to the father of the child, not to your mother, because the mother is a third party.
Indeed, and of course, how then, okay, it's such a complicated scenario. How then should these parents behave when it comes to now their interaction with the child and the interaction with the school? For instance, now if there's a problem at school, who does the teacher call when it concerns this child? Or who goes for visitation day? How does that usually work with these parents who are still sharing custody?
Who are sharing custody?
Yes.
Like I said, the responsibility of a child is for two people. Like I've said, parents, as in fathers, should get involved. If it is taking a child to school, whether the mother is there or not, or whether you're living together or not, if it is time for taking children to school, come together. You understand? There are parents who have separated, but when it is time to take children to school, they come up, they join hands and travel to school. If it is visitation, both of you are known at school. You can go, she can go. If there is any problem with the child, they call both of you. They call either of you. They can call the father or the mother of the child. So, I mean, let us separate, but let us live in that relationship intact, as in, because you're sharing children, because you have children to take care of. Separate, as in, those things of love are done, but you have a responsibility to take care of these children, so that should keep you in touch. Yeah.
Indeed. Now we have come to the end of the issues at hand, but what is your final say to parents, to children, to teachers? What would you like us to remember when it comes to preparing for children to return to school?
First of all, to parents, please, like I told you, make sure you provide necessities to your children. Provide for your children. That is to parents. Teachers, do your responsibilities as a teacher. Parents come, hand over their children to you, and you should be responsible for these children. Then to children, be responsible for yourselves. You should know that everything, security or safety of a person, starts from you yourself. So, in case there is any problem, report, tell a friend. Don't keep quiet. Let us keep in touch, let us communicate. Communication is the key to each and everything.
Indeed, it's what keeps the wheels turning. Thank you so much, Assistant Superintendent of Police Mbakire Monica from the Child and Family Protection Unit, Wandegeya Police, for taking us through that amazing advice on how we can prepare as our children return to schools. Yes, let's follow this advice. Let's be wary of what has been raised up, and you'll see that our children will go to school safely and they'll thrive in school, and that they will attend an education that will go a long way into ensuring that their lives are successful. Thank you for joining us on Issues at Hand this Friday. We shall return on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. God richly bless you, and enjoy the rest of the programming here on Church of Uganda Family TV.